Off the field, he is in the pre-engineering program at the Upper Valley Career Center, where he's been noted as one of the top students in the program. Weston carries a 3.96 GPA, and he intends to attend the University of Dayton next fall, majoring in mechanical engineering as part of the ROTC program. Weston is planning to serve in the Air Force for 10 years post-college graduation. Presenting the award is Staff Sergeant Anderson. Congratulations, Weston Mars. Introducing from the Troy High School, Liam Eaglesizer. Liam is a 2-year varsity letterman in football, basketball, and baseball. He has a GPA of 4.306 and has held a
139 meetings. That's what Piqua and Troy have had on the football fields of Miami County. 139 meetings. Through years of wars and floods, through a depression and recessions, through 2 different presidents with the last name Roosevelt, though one pronounced it Roosevelt. 139 meetings, starting just 20 years after the Cincinnati Redlegs became the first professional baseball team, starting well before the first of the great Yankee teams, featuring Ruth, then Gehrig, then DiMaggio and Mantle. 139 meetings, starting with Gone with the Wind. Well, that was actually recent history, not a book or a movie. 139 meetings, before TV, before radio, before motion pictures, a mode of transportation as well, called the automobile, before that. And what have we decided in those 139 meetings? Well, to be honest, not a whole heck of a lot. Troy leads the series 67, 66, and 6. What has been decided is that this is likely the greatest high school rivalry in the state of Ohio, and one of the best in the country. Tonight here at a rainy Alexander Stadium Perk Field, the 140th meeting between these 2 schools that are separated by just a few miles and a couple of interstate exits. This is the Battle on the Miami. Piqua hosting Troy, and we have it for you on 98.1 FM, 1570 WPTW, and the Indian Nation station. Tom Michaels, Brian Gillespie with us, and Brian, I don't believe I've overstated the rivalry that we have between these 2 programs.
Yeah, it's been insane, and that opening was insane. To hear all those things, that I'm a bit of a history buff, but I didn't know a lot of that stuff that you rattled off there. That is impressive stuff. It's incredible that it's been going on that long. I mean, here in election year, they had just come up with voting machines when this first rivalry came along, way back in 1899. William McKinley was president. It's just an amazing, amazing rivalry that we're lucky enough to be a part of. We're just a small part of in the big scheme of things. But one thing this rivalry may has never seen is wins like this tonight.
Absolutely. This has been a series of ebb and flow. Troy has won the last 3 after a streak of Piqua wins.
Yeah, it goes right back and forth. It seems like, you go from one streak to the next, and tonight's one of those things where Piqua wants to get and stop that and flip the rivalry and stop Troy right in their tracks and try to get going in their direction right away without any hesitation. And that would go a long way to sealing up a postseason spot for either one of these teams, to be honest, if they win tonight.
Well, we're going to take on radio a 2-minute break. When we come back, we'll have more of our pregame. It is the Battle on the Miami. It is Piqua hosting Troy. And we have it for you right here on 98.1 FM, 1570 WPTW, and the Indian Nation station.
Bits and Pieces in downtown Piqua is rolling up the ice cream. How about their world-famous Coney dogs? They've got those too. At Bits and Pieces, the flavor combinations for your rolled ice creams are endless. There's no better place in town to grab a Coney dog and some ice cream than Bits and Pieces in downtown Piqua. The kids will love watching them make their favorite creations. Don't forget to use your Spirit cards at checkout for 25% off your order. Bits and Pieces, 122 High Street in Piqua.
We just sold our house with Kathy Hayden.
And there is nobody else that we would rather use than Kathy Hayden.
He helped me find the house I didn't think I would be able to find. Just what I was looking for. I built right.
We just wanted to thank Kathy and the team for all the hard work that they did on the property that we just purchased.
Remax and Kathy did a great job selling my house. We have worked with Kathy for over 2 decades. We would absolutely recommend her to anyone that we considered a friend or family or cared about, because if you go to her, you're going to get the best. It's excellent.
All we can say is thank you, Kathy, for selling another property for us. We couldn't be more pleased. When you hire the best, you get the best.
All right, fellas. Good stuff. Carry on. Carry on. Good job. Thank you very much. I will miss this.
Back once again for this 140th meeting between these two teams, Piqua and Troy. We were talking a little bit about Piqua before the break there, and this is the second of 3 in a row at home for Piqua after playing 3 of their first 4 on the road against some very good football teams.
I'll tell you what, it's a break. Last week was the first time they got away, barely, only the second time all year they had played someone who had lost. And you got a bit of a break against Greenville. Greenville's a really struggling team. They took care of business, and that's what you have to do against struggling teams. With a 49-0 win, could have been worse, running clock scenario, and that's what you need when you're in a situation where you need a victory. They got themselves going. Maybe that'll build. And again, playing against a Troy team, both teams come into this rivalry a rare situation. 11 years since both of them have losing records. It's a bit misleading, though. They're both 2-3. They both played really difficult schedules up to now. Both will probably eventually make their way into the postseason. It's only a matter of time. But tonight's win for either team will be big.
Well, a tough offensive line continues to be strong for Piqua. They are opening huge holes for the likes of Jericho Burns and Caden Thomas. He's developed into one of the better quarterbacks this year in the MBL.
Yeah, he's made a lot. He's made big strides over the last 2 or 3 weeks. He's just become more consistent, more accurate in his passing. Last week, they had a really balanced attack. Caden Thomas threw for 230 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jericho Burns ran for almost 10 yards per carry, en route to 169 yards and 3 scores. So if they've become this balanced offense, if they can carry that over into, tonight's going to be tough with the weather, but if they can carry that down the stretch of the season, they're going to be well in control of their own destiny.
The defense has been none too shabby, and of course the head coach, Bill Neese, also the defensive coordinator for this team.
Yeah, no, they put the lockdown on Greenville last week, and again, you do what you have to do. You make sure you don't let a team like that have any breathing room, and they really didn't, shutting them out. You got a great linebacking crew with Owen Schaller. You've also got Izzy Coleman, and you've got John Hess, all doing a great job on defense this year.
Well, speaking of Troy, they are like 2-3 overall record, coming off a loss. That coming up last week to Tip, arguably the best team in the league.
Yeah, Troy played them as close as anybody has. To be honest, they were on the ropes. They had them on the ropes. They just didn't have the knockout punch. Tip made a late run, late drive. They scored on a 3rd and 24. They got a 26-yard touchdown pass, and Troy could not respond and lost 25-22. I mean, you can't ask for much more for Troy, although that with coming away without a win in that one has to feel like an empty feeling.
Well, the Trojans are a pretty young team. They are led by the quarterback, Eden Kirkpatrick, and then they really spread things around. They tend to go with that, at least unusual for these day and age, the wing T offense.
Kirkpatrick had a heck of a week last week. That was his career game so far. I mean, he was 16 of 20 passing for 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he rushed 16 times for 129 and TD. Doesn't get much better for a quarterback, and that, playing like that would be hard to beat tonight at Piqua.
Well, as you can see, the weather here is just miserable as it is all around this part of the world, all the way back down as you go down into the southeastern part of the United States. Hurricane Helene doing the damage we certainly feel for all the folks that are down there in the Florida, Georgia area. I know there have been a number of fatalities involved with this particular storm, but the damage is something else as well. Right now, we take a look on the field here at Piqua. We are getting ready for the Piqua team to move their way out. You also see in the white with the red, right now in kind of the middle of the screen, right behind the goalpost, that the Troy Trojans getting ready to come out here onto the field as we get ready for this game. Both teams with a record of 2-3. Both teams with that 2-2 record in the MVL Miami. For Piqua, they have scored some 110 points while giving up 100. Meanwhile, for Troy, they have scored 150 points while giving up just 81. So right now we are just a few minutes away from getting things underway here. We understand that the weather should improve a little bit as this game goes along. Maybe by 7:30 we won't have quite the wind and quite the rain that we have been seeing here.
Well, meteorologist AJ Ganger let me know when I got here that at 7:30, according to his sources, we're looking at some wind dissipating. We're going to have some rain, but it shouldn't be as strong. So this could turn out to be a relatively normal weather day, except for it's just nasty wet out. And that's going to cause some slick fingers, slick football. That could be a nasty combination on turnovers in this game.
Well, 2 MVL games last night as we see the Troy Trojans making their way onto the field here at Alexander Stadium. Tip wound up a 25-7 winner over Butler, and that was a huge game there. And it was Stebbins over They lost to Butler 21-13, beat West Carrollton 48-7, and as I mentioned, losing to Tip 25-22. So, with the Piqua Indians now out here on the field, we're going to take a 2-minute break. When we come back, we'll have tonight's play-by-play, first quarter of the Battle of the Miami, Piqua and Troy, here on 98.1 FM, 1570 WPTW, and the Indian Nation Station.
Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a country with freedoms like no other. In order to honor America and respect all those who fight for our country, please, if you are able, stand, remove your hats, and play our national anthem.
Back once again, Alexander Stadium, Perk Field, as Piqua and Troy getting ready to do battle for the 140th time. The coin toss was won by Troy. They defer to the second half. So Piqua is going to be receiving, and they will be running right to left here in our opening quarter. The kicker for the Troy Trojans, that's Cameron Stoltz. He's a pretty doggone good one. We'll see what he decides to do as far as where he's going to try and place this ball. For the Piqua Indians, we've been seeing Rayshon Garrett as one of those who is back deep. We've also seen Debo Nisley. So happy to have you along here on this, well, I've been saying beautiful Friday night throughout this season. Can't say it tonight, but it is a great battle coming up here between a couple of teams that have quite a bit on the line.
And in a metaphorical perfect start to the game, the ball falls off the tee and Cameron Stoltz has to reset it. There's 100% chance that eventually somebody's going to have to go hold that thing for him, because that ain't staying there.
Yep. That we're in this really swirling down below, so they're going to have one of the linemen go ahead and hold that ball there at the 40-yard line so we can get this thing underway. Piqua in the navy blue with the white numerals, the navy blue helmets. Meanwhile, the white jersey tops, the gray helmets with the scarlet pants, scarlet numbers for the folks from Troy. Underway here, it's going to be one. It is going to be into the end zone, and so it is going to be 1st and 10 for the Piqua Indians, with the ball being brought back out there to the 20-yard line.
I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised they didn't squib kick it. This is kind of the squib kicking dream in this with the wet turf and how that thing could wobble and go crazy. I'm surprised they didn't squib kick it on the kickoff.
Caden Thomas is the quarterback. The running back, Jericho Burns, two wideouts to the right, one to the left, as the ball pops high in the hands of Caden Thomas. He gets away from one man, rolling to the near side. He's across the 20, knocked out of bounds at the 23-yard line. So a near disaster winds up with a 3-yard gain for Piqua, where it'll be a 2nd down and 7.
I think we can save that one and that call and repeat it about 1,000 times tonight. If you're going to do a snap like this in the pistol like they do, holy moly, it's going to be hard. That's going to be a tough ball to catch.
Again out of the pistol with 2 wide to the right, 1 to the short side of the field, the left side. They give the ball, Jericho Burns. He's across the 30-yard line. Should be first down yardage. Indeed it is. So the first down of the game belongs to the Piqua Indians. Just underway here, 11:15 to go in the first quarter. No score.
First down.
At the end of the day, I think ball security will separate these teams tonight. Whoever can hold on to the ball enough will probably win this game.
The give, Jericho Burns. Burns finds a hole. He's across up to the 35-yard line before he is taken down. In there for the stop for Troy, we see coming in there Gage Gowecki, one of several players. Pick up a 4, that brings up a 2nd and 6. We have seen Caden Thomas be much more confident with his passes, but with this weather, that ball is going to be kept on the ground. And this time, Jericho Burns gets the ball back to the, may have gotten it just beyond the 35-yard line. Yep, it's out to the 36. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 5. Team looks over here to the near sideline.
The question is, will they ever throw it tonight? Because especially early, probably not. Not much.
They got a wing on the right, rolling right. Here's Caden Thomas. Thomas under pressure, runs it ahead. He's going to be knocked out of bounds. It's going to be well short of first down yardage. He's knocked out of bounds around the 38-yard line. So that's going to bring the punting unit on here for the Piqua Indians, and one Chris Davis has been the punter for this team this year. He's a freshman, averaging over 39 yards per punt.
Yeah, he's been really good. You know, he came right out of the gate kicking the ball very well.
He's standing back at his own 24-yard line. Good snap, no rush. Twin safety's back. They're just going to let that ball bounce. And it is going to bounce down inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line. And that is where Troy is going to take over here, 1st and 10, with their first possession of the game. They're under third-year coach Troy Everhart. He replaced Dan Gress. Everhart, a graduate of St. Joe's of Indiana. Unfortunately, that school doesn't exist anymore. Former coach at Wentwoods in Middletown, and then went out to California. He came in from there, from Fallbrook, California, in the San Diego area, to be the coach of this Troy team. They try and go up the middle, nothing doing there.
Fumbled it on the first play, but I think they got it back.
Yep. So they pick up about a yard. So that'll be a 2nd down and 9. Zach Ullery was the ball carrier on that. One wide out to the left. Now they're going to give the ball. Looks like Caden Franklin this time. He's going to pick up about 2 yards on that one. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 6. 8:52 to go in quarter number 1. No score. First possession for Troy. They look over to the bench, get the signals over there on this 3rd down play. They've got 2 wideouts on the left side. They got wings on either side. Now they're going to send man in motion. Quarterback's going to keep it. Kirkpatrick bowls his way ahead and doesn't get it. Aiden Kirkpatrick kept the ball, but was not able to get the first down yardage. That's going to bring up a 4th down and short.
Looks like they're staying out there with the offense, unless they do one of those quick kicks. But
or whether they try and draw the Piqua off sides here.
That might be too.
Aiden Kirkpatrick under center. Got 2 backs behind him. And they try and bullet straight ahead. It looks like they've got the first down. And They placed the ball, yep, just barely.
Oh my goodness, where they placed that ball, I was starting to wonder because I didn't see anybody point to a first down, and then they moved the sticks just barely.
They get it up there to the 35-yard line. 1st and 10, Trojans. 7.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. The quarterback, Aiden Kirkpatrick, a junior. A lot of juniors on this team, particularly on the offensive end of things. And they'll bull it right up the middle. This time, Caden Franklin, one of the halfbacks, 5'6", 145-pound junior. They're lining up with the quarterback under center, and then they have back split behind him. The back on the near side is Zachary Ullery. On the far side, that's Caden Franklin. Michael Tucker is lined up just off the line here on this near side. 2nd and 7. They give the ball to Tucker. Tucker ahead. He's got the first down as he is across the 45-yard line. And first down for the Troy Trojans. So the Trojans on the march here as we near 6.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter.
Looked like they had him dead rights at the line, but he wiggled loose and made a nice run out of that one.
For both of these teams, penalties have been a problem thus far this year. So on 1st and 10, they give the ball to the back with the ball. Caden Franklin. Franklin's going to get it down very close to a first down, but it's going to be about a yard short. So that'll bring up a 2nd down and short here.
Boy, they have a lot of guys inside the tackles on this offense.
Once again, the back split. Back on the near side is Dakota Manson. He hadn't played the last couple of games. He's out there now.
And
they get the ball. Yep, but he's going to be stuffed short. And as a matter of fact, loses a yard on the play to bring up 3rd down now.
First of many slips in this game, I think. His foot slipped out from under him, and he couldn't get much momentum, and they knocked him back. Piqua did a nice job right there, knocking the center back into him.
Very fast-moving first quarter here. Everybody keeping the ball on the ground. Now a big shift. They're going to put the strong side here on the near side. Give the ball to the back, and it's going to be first down yardage here. With the ball, carrying it ahead, Dakota Manson. So that gets the ball across the 45 down between the 44 and 43-yard line into Piqua territory now. 4:45 to go, first quarter.
Troy does a lot of shifting there late. I always wonder how much shifting is almost like you're trying to draw somebody off sides. You move so much around that they should maybe call a penalty on the offense sometimes.
Kirkpatrick, this time out of the gun. He's going to give the ball to the back, Dakota Manson. He was the guy on the left side. He takes it up the gut and picks up good yardage there. Bring up a 2nd down and 4.
It's a methodical drive, just kind of going right down in between the tackles, up behind the center. Not a lot of outside stuff.
Not the crowd that we would have expected if we had a good weather night, but there's some hardy souls out there, that to be sure. This time, the give goes to Zachary Ullery. He gets nowhere as he is taken down by Isaiah Martin. Taken down for a loss. That brings up a 3rd down now.
Maybe that's why they don't run outside, because they were about to go outside the tackle right there, and Martin was right there, right about. He could have taken a handoff almost. He was on it right on that play.
Just the second possession of this first quarter. Here the quarterback Kirkpatrick rolling near side, throws it over here on this near side, and that ball is complete to Caden Franklin.
That's a nice throw in this wind.
So that'll bring up a 1st and 10 now The ball spotted right there at the 25-yard line. They look over for the incoming play. Back on the near side, Dakota Manson. Ullery. Here's the other back, the quarterback, Kirkpatrick. He's going to run it ahead. Big hole there. He gets it down across the 10. He's down close to the 5, on the 5, before he is finally brought down. Coming through there to stop him was Owen Schaller, but another first down. It'll be first down and goal to go now for the Troy Trojans here with 3:10 to go in period number 1.
That was a nice job by him finding the hole, because there looked like there were some Piqua defenders there, but he just found the space and he went, and he's a tough tackle. It's not easy to tackle for a guy his size, a quarterback.
2 wideouts to the left. Now a man in motion. Ball pops high, but Kirkpatrick gets it, and then he just forces his way down, just keeps going and going and going. I tell you what, the Piqua Indians had him hogtied there, but he just kept those legs a-churning and gets the ball down to the 2-yard line, where it'll be second and goal to go.
It's like he heard me talking about him, because, man, that was even better. He wanted to show me he could do even better. I mean, he was done, and he turned, and he just would not stop.
Michael Tucker off the line on the right. Quarterback's going to take it ahead, in for the touchdown. So Troy takes out to a 6-0 lead with 2:07 to go in the opening period. And that'll bring on Cameron Stoltz, the place kicker. He is 16 of 17 this year.
That was an impressive drive all the way around by Troy.
Logan Westerfield is going to be the holder. Ball is up and through, and actually Liam Evilsizer was the holder on that one. And with 2:07 left to go in the first quarter, Troy takes a 7-0 lead back after this 30-second break here on 98.1 FM, 1570 WPTW, and the Indian Nation station.
And of course, the popular senior feature, which highlights all of the fall senior athletes throughout the season. 8 years today before they sell out. The People Athletic Department would like to thank the many sponsors of the program, field signs, and video boards this season. Their support allows Piqua to showcase the best program and no doubt video boards in the state of Ohio. Thank you, Piqua, for supporting our student athletes and programs.
Troy, get you ready to kick off after having taken the 7-0 lead on that 3-yard run by the quarterback, Aiden Kirkpatrick. Do the kicking once again, Cameron Stoltz. Piqua has one of their deep men back in Rayshawn Garrett. With the wind, we've got the holder out there, and this one going to come down and be dropped by Rayshawn Garrett in the end zone. He'll just pick it up, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. That's where Piqua is going to take over first and 10, trailing it 7-0 here early on.
Tell you what, it'll be interesting to see how Piqua's offense responds here, because, man, the defense really struggled to slow down Troy on that possession. It's very important that Piqua puts up a fight here on the offensive end and keeps the ball for a little while and maybe get some points on the board right now.
Piqua goes with one man wide to the right, 2 to the left. Jericho Burns takes the ball. He is going to be grabbed, taken down for a loss, but we got a flag on the play. So that's a sideline warning. No penalty as such there, but if they get another sideline, then indeed it would be a 5-yard penalty. So a loss of 2 on that play. It'll be 2nd and 12. Same basic setup this time with 2 men wide to the left, the wing on the left side of the line. Quickly throwing over here on the near side. That ball was thrown too low for Jay Hancock. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 12.
Yeah, it looked like the ball may have slipped out of his hand. Shocker on that throw. It's gonna be, you know, you just don't know what you're gonna see tonight with the wet football.
Well, that situation there may make you decide, okay, let's go back to the ground game and just keep it there. Now on a 3rd and 12. As I say that, here goes Caden Thomas. Thomas is going to be taken down at the 15-yard line, so he loses another 3 yards, and that's going to bring the punters back on in Chris Davis. So Piqua not able to do anything on their first 2 possessions here with 1:16 left to go in the first quarter. 7-0. Troy the lead and getting ready to get the ball back in what should be some fairly good field position. Chris Davis stands back at his own 3-yard line. Pretty good rush on that time. Gets it away. The ball is going to be fair caught and around the 45-yard line. And that is where we are going to see Troy take over 1st and 10 inside a minute to go in the first quarter.
I'll tell you what, they were awfully close to blocking that punt right there. They might want to figure out how to speed that process up on the next kick because Troy was fingertips away from getting that one.
Yeah, last year, Troy beat Piqua 14-0. Before that, Piqua had won 3 in a row. Again, out of the gun. Throw over here on the near side, and that one was nowhere near hitting the intended target. Michael Tucker. They have a number of people. Their nomenclature for Troy is the halfback and the split end. And it's pretty much anybody can do anything in terms of either running or catching the football.
Partner, I love when you use words like nomenclature. That gets me every time. I love it.
This time they try and run it around the left side and getting nowhere there. Off the tackle here by the Piqua Indians. And in there for the stop was Zayden Allen.
This is a big one here. If Piqua can get them to quick 3 and out here and get them to punt it back to them, that would be a big win for Piqua here before the end of the first quarter.
25 seconds to go in the quarter. Under center, Kirkpatrick. Twin backs. Wing off the line. Kirkpatrick going to keep it, and he's going to be taken down. He tried to run with it because he didn't see anything particularly open there. We're going to see John Hess, one of those in there for the stop, as well as Isaiah Martin. And that brings up 4th down. But we're going to have our quarter break before we get things underway. Once again, Troy with a 7-0 lead on Piqua after 1 here on 98.1 FM 1570 WPTW and the Indian Nation Station.
We are thrilled to announce the grand opening of our outlet store at Atlantis Sportswear. As a family-owned and operated business since 1986, we are excited to offer factory direct pricing on
30-yard line. Tonight, Piqua City Schools would like to honor and thank Dr. Jim Burkhart for his 39 years of service to the Piqua Athletic Department. Dr. Burkhart started his tenure with the Indians in 1986 and has been on the sidelines on Friday nights for Piqua ever since. Dr. Burkhart has made a valuable and big impact on the college, student athletes, coaches, and administrators, and community. Tonight we thank him for his commitment, dedication to all that he's made for all of us at Piqua. Congratulations, Dr. Burkhardt, on your retirement, and you will sorely be missed. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Jim Burkhardt.
Back once again for the 140th meeting on the gridiron between Troy and Piqua. Troy with a 7-0 lead. Tom Michaels, Brian Gillespie. Our entire crew here from both WPTW and the Indian Nation station. And here's one that winds up being deflected out of bounds.
Looked like Martin got in there, Isaiah Martin got in there with his 6'5" frame and really made that punter uncomfortable. That's 2 kicks now, back-to-back kicks between Troy and Piqua that have been awfully close to being blocked.
So the ball's going to be spotted at the 20-yard line. That's where Piqua's going to take over 1st and 10. This is their 3rd possession of the game. Again, we have 2 wideouts to the left this time, 1 to the right, the short side of the field. They work the near hash mark. Jericho Burns is the back. Jericho Burns will take the ball, tries to cut the corner on the left side. He'll pick up a yard or so on the play before being taken down. 11:26 left to go here in the second quarter.
It's a good night to look at the stars, I will tell you that.
And jumping on this near side of the line for Troy, and it's big number 37, Griffin Shepard, the linebacker. That's going to move the ball ahead now and bring up a 2nd down and 3 for Piqua. They work the left hash mark now. They are going to move Noah Coleman from just off the right side of the line to the left. 1 man wide to the left, 2 to the right. Coleman in motion. They're going to throw it over here to Coleman. He gets it out to the 30-yard line where he is taken down. Coming through for the stop, Marcus Kavanaugh, the outside linebacker.
I'll tell you what, when Noah Coleman gets the ball, he does good things with it. I think they're going to see any ways they can get him some touches.
After calling the signals, now looking over to the sideline as they back away. Now they got the play call in. Jericho Burns off to the left side of the quarterback. He's going to take the ball, pick up a yard, and just be inundated by a whole bunch of the white shirts. Among them, Austin Zafke, defensive lineman, 6'2", 300 pounds.
A large human being, and he holds his weight pretty good, actually. For being 6'2", he just blocks up everything, man. He could block the sun out. And there's no sun night to be blocked, that's for sure.
2nd down and 9. Ball on the 31-yard line, their own for Piqua. Rolling left, Caden Thomas has a man open. It is complete all the way down and in. Touchdown, Debo Nisley.
Whoa, what a play. They snuck him in behind. That looked a little bit like when they got up the sideline in another game. They slipped behind the defense. That was a beautiful call by Travis Neese right there. Kudos. And then Nisley said, forget about it. You're not catching me.
That comes at 9:44 of this second period. 7-6 now. On for the extra point. We see Gavin Larger, 10 of 11 on extra points. The holder, Caden Thomas. The snap is good. The kick,
Kick is up and good. There's a flag.
it is good, but a flag on the play.
I'm confused. I think that they made the extra point, so if you're not going to... Oh, they called it a dead ball foul? Encroachment on the defense? I would have thought that play would have played out and they would just take...
Yeah, I think it was dead ball because I honestly did not see any specific signal being given there. So, once again, here's Gavin Larger trying to tie this game up at 7. This one is up and through, and we are tied at 7-7 now with 9:44 to go in the first half of the battle on the Miami. And we'll be back right after this 30-second break here on 98.1 FM 1570 WPTW and the Indian Nation Station.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the 30-yard line. Tonight is a special night at Alexander Stadium for many reasons, but one of those is to honor our longtime football announcer, Doug Hem. Doug just announced his last pregame as an announcer here at Piqua, as he has been the voice of the Piqua Indians on Friday nights at Alexander Stadium for 20 years. His energy, work behind the scenes, and his charisma will be missed. Thank you, Doug, for all you've given to Piqua through the years, and we will certainly miss your golden voice. Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Hem.
On the field, longtime PA announcer for Piqua football, Doug Hem, who is retiring from that position, and he did the pregame here tonight. So he is being honored with a nice plaque given to him by Piqua Athletics.
Tell you what, it's hard to find those people who do a great job in announcing like that, like Doug Hem has done for so long. He's an athletic director's dream right there. Guy that shows up every day and does a great job, and congratulations to him on his retirement.
Well, Gavin Larger approaches the ball for the kickoff, but it falls off the tee once again, so we're going to have a holder, and I think that's what we're going to see pretty much all evening long. So getting ready once again, arm in the air, and now approaching the ball, Gavin Larger. Larger put this one down. It's going to be a short one, taken there at the 10-yard line, and pretty much falling ahead with that football. Looked like Brandon Boyer with that one. So with 9:38 to go in the first half, all tied up 7-7, Troy and Piqua. Happy to have you along here on the Indian Nation Station. First blood being drawn by Troy, then Piqua able to come back here early in the second quarter. First and 10. Ball spotted at the 28-yard line of Troy. Out of the gun, they give. Dakota Manson finds a big hole, and he is finally wrapped up and taken down.
We do have some laundry on the field, though.
Zayden Allen is the one who took him down.
Chop block.
So that's going to bring things back after that nice run. So the officials are walking it off, and they walk it off. And he's standing with the football at the 20-yard line, but he didn't put it down yet. Now he's going down. He's inside the 15, down between the 13 and 14-yard line. So it's going to be first and real long coming up here for Troy. I mentioned that for both of these teams, penalties have been a problem this year. They got a wide out to the left side, single back there. Dakota Manson, he's going to be doing some blocking now for his quarterback, who doesn't pick up a whole lot, as brought down by Jace Weber.
I'll tell you what, Jace Weber is fired up, man. He just beat the living daylights out of himself, knocking himself in the helmet after that tackle. He is fired up. Who wouldn't be in this type of rivalry, man? This is fun stuff.
Cameron Best comes in, and he'll replace Isaiah Martin. So an extra linebacker in there now, here on this 2nd and 18 situation. 2 wideouts to the right. Rolling right, Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick looking, keeps the ball. Taken down. Knocked out of bounds there by Carson Mars. And that'll bring up 3rd down now.
Look like Zayden Allen was on the task as well right there. They tag team, make sure he didn't go anywhere.
So 3rd down now, 3rd down and about 18.
The question is, will Troy put in the air here? Will they just run it and try to get a big run here?
Kirkpatrick came into this game 37 of 56 for 534 yards. He is going to throw. He's going to throw long. He's got a man open, and great defense by Piqua. A couple of the blue shirts are back there and on the coverage, including Joey Vosco.
Keaton Bolden was on the outside there. He was just waiting for that thing hung in the air a while, and Keaton went up there and got a piece of it right at the last second there. What a great play.
So that's going to bring the punting unit on here for the Troy Trojans. The punter, Cameron Stoltz, averaging 36.6 yards per punt. He's had 9 of them this year. He had 1 partially blocked to set up a tip TD last week.
Tell you what, it feels a little bit like Piqua's flipped the momentum of this game here in the 2nd quarter for sure.
Standing back at his own 3. Gets rid of it quickly. Ball's going to bounce down across midfield and going to be downed at the 41-yard line by Troy. Piqua had pretty good field position here with 7:52 to go here in the 2nd quarter. And there was some doubt. There was indeed. I know there were discussions going on about whether this game was going to be held here tonight or whether it was going to be delayed perhaps till tomorrow. A number of games have been delayed until tomorrow. But this one showing the kind of competition that we are used to when these two teams get together here. 7-7 with 7:52 to go. The give once again goes to Jericho Burns. He'll just take it straight up the middle and you get it on out there to the 45-yard line. It'll be a 2nd and 5 coming up here. Nose of the ball just tickling the 45. Piqua. Wide man to the left side. That's Drake going in the slot on that side. Debo Nisley. Also a man wide to the near side. I think that's Joey Vosco. And they'll give it to the back once again. Another nice little pickup there. And it gets the ball down. Does Jericho Burns down to about the 49-yard line. So it'll be a 3rd down and 1 coming up here.
That was a great lead block by Tony Gardner, number 55 right there. Pancaked him.
And the wideout to the near side is indeed Jay Hancock. Piqua looking over here to the sideline to get the signal. Everybody is now set. The signal's called. Here goes Jericho Burns. He's got the 1st down. He's across the 45, down to the 42, before taken down by Aiden Gorman, the defensive back. So a 1st down for the Piqua Indians. 6:26 to go in the first half of a tie, 7-7.
They definitely have some momentum on both defense and offense right now. They're running downhill right at them right now, and looks like Troy's on their heels.
Nicely slot man left. Outside him, Drake Owen to the right side. Jay Hancock Piqua with a wing just off the line on the right side. That man Coleman in motion, rolling left. Here's the pass out. Coleman's got it. Coleman down across the 35 to the 34-yard line before he is knocked down by Creighton Vercelles. The linebacker, 6'1", 195-pound senior, came into this game with 27 tackles. He's the leading tackler for the Troy T.
I'll tell you what, Coleman makes you earn every tackle when you get him, because he puts that shoulder down and bam, he runs right. He ran right into him and knocked him back a couple yards. I don't think tacklers like tackling Coleman too much because he makes you hurt to get that tackle.
2nd and 2. Man to the right, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Now, with the ball, here is Jericho Burns.
Face mask on Troy here in a second, so that's going to get him a couple easy first down. Got him in the face mask on the cut.
Once again, that ball popped in the air. Jericho Burns got it, ran to the near side. Face mask against Troy. With 5:03 to go in the second period.
That's making a play work for you after it looked pretty ugly after a little loose. The ball got loose there.
So the ball now spotted at the 27-yard line. Lining up to the left side of the quarterback, Jericho Burns. Man just off the line. 2 wideouts right, now in motion, Nisley. Nisley now sets up on the left side. Now he moves a little bit outside, and a timeout is going to be called here by Piqua. Let's go ahead and take a 30-second break on the Piqua timeout. A tie 7-7, Troy and Piqua on 98.1 FM, 1570 WPTW, and the Indian Nation Station.
We are thrilled to announce the grand opening of our outlet store at Atlantis Sportswear. As a family-owned and operated business since 1986, we are excited to offer factory direct pricing on a wide selection of t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and more. Our store will be open on the first Friday and Saturday of every month, as well as other selected days that can be found on our Facebook page. Not only will you find your favorite Piqua Indians items, but we will also have items from our resort brand Unsalted Coast. Come visit us and take advantage of amazing deals on high-quality sportswear. We can't wait to see you there.
8 left to go here in the first half. Piqua on a 1st and 10, threatening. Once again here, they work for the right hash mark. They give the ball. Jericho Burns, big running room to the outside. He rolls his way ahead across the 20, down to the 17-yard line. And we'll see where they actually spot the ball. They're going to spot the ball. Oh, that's not a good spot. Back there to the 19.
Yeah, they only gave him the 19-yard line. Hard to believe that. That looked like he got himself a first down on that play. But 2nd and 2 is not too shabby, though.
Hancock right. Owen left. Slotman Nisley on the left side. Noah Coleman was in motion. Now they're going to give the ball once again. Here it goes to Jericho Burns, and he is going to be taken down. He'll be down there at about the 12-yard line. It'll be an Indians first down with 3:50 to go in the first half.
Keep those chains moving. They're squeezing that clock too, not giving Troy a lot of possessions. You know, when they do something like this and just grind it out on the ground.
Now nicely slot man on the right side. Outside him, Jay Hancock to the left. Owen with the ball, the quarterback. He's taken down. Thomas is. That'll bring up a 2nd down here. Picks up a yard. 2nd down and 9.
I think that might have been a design run from the get-up and just didn't ever materialize there.
Halftime, we'll endeavor to have stats for you coming up here. Should be interesting. Again, coming around the near side and getting nowhere is Jericho Burns, brought down by Nathan Wyatt, the linebacker, a 5'8", 170-pound senior.
Timed up that run blitz perfectly, filled every gap. There wasn't anywhere to go. Wyatt was in there right away.
So with a 3rd down and 10.
No hurry here for Piqua. You know, they'll take that clock down probably a good bit here.
Burns off to the left hip of Thomas. Thomas rolling to the left. He's got a man open and incomplete. Had Drake Owen open right there at the yard marker, but it was short, and that is going to bring up a 4th down and 10.
That looked like a wind ball right there. That ball was in the air too long, and what happened was that wind just took the air right out of it and sent it short of Draco. And looked like it was going to get there, and then that wind just said, not today, my friend.
Pretty much pancaked that ball right into the turf. So with 2 wideouts to the left, 1 to the right, working the right hash mark, and now Piqua is... Nope, Troy is going to call the timeout here. We'll keep it here.
It's a tough decision here. 4th and 10. You're in sort of field goal range on a regular night, but with the amount of wind whipping out there, you almost have to go for it on 4th and 10 at the 12-yard line. That's a difficult spot to be in.
Tom Michaels and Brian Gillespie will be calling the action on the United Nation Station, Piqua, Channel 5.
Well, in the NBL, only 2 other games tonight. Sydney at Greenville and Fairborn at Xenia. Tip was a 25-7 winner last night over Butler, and on the Thursday Night Lights game, Stebbins had no problem with West Carrollton 48-20. West Carrollton, the team that Pick was going to be playing next week right here, once again, 3rd home game in a row. At Alexander Stadium, it'll be homecoming. The parade is going to be on Thursday night, I believe around 7 o'clock. So now on a 4th and 10, 2 wideouts to the left, 1 to the right, back to pass Thomas. Thomas comes near side, and it is incomplete. Looking for Jay Hancock there, and on downs, the ball's going to go over now to Troy with 2:04 left to go in the first half.
That was an amazing play. Hancock fell down. He's laying on the ground. He was still open on the ground, and Caden Thomas hit him right in the face with the ball. he couldn't get his hands up quick enough to catch it. But man, for a guy laying on the ground, that's a pretty good ball by in the wind like this by Caden Thomas.
Yeah, Jay Hancock, just a sophomore. So Troy comes out here. Quarterback is Aiden Kirkpatrick. He's got 1 man in the backfield with him. That's Dakota Manson. Manson with the ball. And Manson runs his way ahead over the right side. Finally, he is brought down by Zayden Allen.
You know, this is interesting. Troy doesn't have a lot of time here. They do have 3 timeouts, though, if that's accurate. They have 3 timeouts here, and they can get something going, but it's quick. It's not a lot of time.
Now, once again, Manson, the ball carrier, tries to go around the right side once again and loses a yard or so. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 5.
That's not going to cut it, that's for sure. A loss at down to 3rd and 5 deep in your own territory. They may just eat this one and go to half, but we'll see.
So that is the second timeout. I believe Troy called that one, and that is the second timeout as called by Troy.
At Roberts Brothers Comfort, we
Oh yeah, I
understand
just missed that one.
malfunctioning air
Called one
conditioner can
recently.
disrupt your daily life.
Last year,
of experienced
in the
technicians ensure your AC
postseason,
unit
Troy
runs at peak
beat Stebbins
performance
and
at all
Lima
times.
Senior
Roberts
lost the
Brothers
Withrow
Comfort,
42 to 14.
937-909-GUN, or
And as we have
robertsbrotherscomfort.com.
mentioned a time or two, Piqua, last year, one of the few times they not making the playoffs. Now here on 3rd and 5, the ball over on the right side. They're going to say it is complete.
Now they're saying it hit the ground incomplete.
Pass comes up incomplete.
So that'll bring up a 4th down.
And I'll bring it
They
forward.
threw over on the right side. And with 1:17 to go, just that quickly, Piqua's going to get the ball back and could have it in good field position.
And Troy's kicking the ball from their own 5 or 6 yard line, and they nearly got one earlier. We'll see if they can get in there and get a hand on this one. Just don't rough the punter.
Cameron Stoltz back there. And
there it is.
Yep. The ball down across the 40-yard line, but that's going to be negated by the roughing the punter penalty coming up here. You can see it on the screen. For those of you who are watching on the Indian Nation station. So the official's talking it over right now, and
I will say there was not a lot of contact on that. I mean, they bumped him.
well, he sold it. There's no doubt about it. But
it is what it is. You can't touch the punter.
Yep.
No matter how close you get there, if you don't get there and you hit that punter, that's an instant first down, or maybe not. Oh, running into the kicker it is. Okay.
So that
Holy moly, look what they're doing right here, partner. They brought their offense back out on the field. 4th and 1.
had less than one. Look at that.
Oh
Look how
my
close
goodness gracious. This is some kind of call right here. 4th and inches from your own.
Now they're moving it back.
Oh man, here we go. I feel like we go through this every week with referees. The ball is just forever.
Oh, they're gonna measure here.
What is this, the 1990s? They're measuring? They don't ever measure anything anymore.
So let's take a look here. They're going to stretch it out. And it is short. It is short by about half a yard.
Isaiah Martin's pointing like it's Piqua ball. My friend, it's still 4th down. It's not our ball just yet. Holy mackerel. What in the world? This is wild. Going for it. I mean, it is just inches, but there's so much that could go wrong.
So with 1:07 left to go in the half, 7-7 our tie. They try and take it right up the middle. Let's see. Piqua saying that nope. The official is now saying, the referee saying it is a first down.
Man, I don't know if the risk, the juice is worth the squeeze right there. I mean, even you get a first down, you're still at your own 24-yard line.
You got to have confidence in your offense in a situation like that. Out of the gun. They throw it over on the right side.
Oh, man.
Looking for Dakota Manson.
I'd like to know if that thing hit off his foot. Can we get an NFL replay right now? That looked like it kicked off his foot up into the air for an interception, but we are not going to get the replay here in high school football.
That brings up a 2nd down and 10. 44 seconds left to go in the half.
That may have been their last creative play right there. They might just hand this one off now.
Man in motion now, working over there on the right side. And pick it up no more than a yard. Clock continues to roll. Brings up a 3rd down and 9. And a timeout is called once again here. So Piqua calls the timeout. This is the 140th meeting between these two schools. And Troy leads the series 67, 66, and 6. Amazing. Piqua had fallen behind a bit by some 3 wins, but they had 3 wins in a row to tie things up at 66 and 6. And then last year it was the 14-0 win by Troy at their place. Next week, Troy is going to be hosting Xenia, who is once again going to be a very, very tough customer this year. They have been. So now a 3rd down and 9. 26 seconds, all that's left here in the first half. Gave the ball again to the running back. That's Caden Franklin. Franklin spins his way ahead, but short of the first down.
Looks like Piqua was going to call timeout and make him punt the ball, which makes sense in this weather.
So the ball is going to be spotted there at the 32-yard line. Piqua calls the timeout. That would be, I believe, their final timeout.
That ref's got money on the game. He moved it up a whole yard.
Looks like Troy is debating whether they should kick or go for it on 4th and 1 here, or 4th and, a little over 1 maybe.
Well, they had a gutsy call just a little while ago. It worked out to their favor. Right now, with 19 seconds left in the half, you just have to see. You would give Piqua enough time. They might be able to do something with that ball in good field position if you go for it and don't get it here. But you're not going to leave them with much, particularly if you do some running with that football to take some time off the clock. But they're gonna go for it on 4th and 1. Out of the gun, they give it to the back, and he's gonna be short.
He did not get it.
He's gonna be short, and 14 seconds is what Piqua is gonna have to do something with this ball before we go to the halftime locker room.
I just don't understand the call. First of all, they went a little bit slow. It was a slow developing play on it. And they don't, instead of just kicking it, you almost want to make Piqua try to field a punt in that scenario. Maybe you get them to fumble on the punt. But instead, you go for it. Now you got Piqua's got a play or 2 in them. They don't have any timeouts left, though. So it's going to have to be quick and up the field.
So we'll see if they go to the air with this one. Wideouts on either side. Back to pass, looking. Man open on the far side. Overthrows the intended receiver. Looking for Drake Owen over there. And that'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. So perhaps time for 2 plays here. He had the man open, but just overthrew him.
Yeah, but again, it's one of those things. If you put the ball in the air too high tonight, you're asking for that thing. Who knows where it's going to end up?
Out of the shotgun to the quarterback's right, Jericho Burns. Going to throw it. Once again, overthrows the intended receiver. This time, Rayshawn Garrett, and I think that's the first time he's been a target on this evening. That brings up now a 3rd down and 10, 6 seconds to go.
What the heck, do it again. Just don't throw an interception unless, if you're going to overthrow it, way overthrow it. Oh, it looks like they're going to fire this one up. Hail Mary style here.
So they stack them on the left side. 4 receivers, 1 to the right is Garrett. Empty backfield. Here's Thomas looking for Garrett. He overthrew that and overthrew it long. But that's going to bring up a 4th down and 10 with 1 second to go.
That's if you're going to miss there, you might as well miss long. Don't miss short and get it picked off. You're better off just throwing that thing out of the end zone. And you get 1 more play, too.
Yep.
Might as well.
So now they're going to have 3 wide to the left, 2 to the right. Now timeout is called by Troy.
Just when this game was flying right along. You just can't get away from it. Somehow, some way, one of these teams or both of them will slow the game down. They always do.
Well, happy to have you along here. The Troy Trojans, a record of 2-3, 2-2 in the MBL Miami. Last year they were 11-2, 8-1. They were in that three-way tie for first place in the Miami division. Meanwhile, the Piquanians last year were just 2-8, coming off a string of seasons where they just they just had unbelievable seasons there for like 4 or 5 years in a row. And now they ran the time off the clock, and that's it.
Wow.
So,
okay.
First half is over with, and we are tied. Troy 7 and Piqua 7. We're going to take a 3-minute break here. When we come back, we'll have our halftime activities for you on 98.1 FM, 1570 WPTW, and the Indian Nation Station.
Candy on Main in downtown Piqua is the perfect place for saying your sweet tooth. They have a huge selection of all different kinds of candy. Don't forget to check out their selection of glass bottle sodas. They even have their own delicious flavors. Whether you're craving some chocolate, saltwater taffy, gummy worms, or anything in between, This and That's has it. Don't forget to use your Spirit cards at checkout for 25% off your order. This and That's Candy on Main, 408 North Main Street in Piqua.
Crayex really is Piqua. Dedication, honesty, and service. At Crayex, it truly is all about the people.
Founded by Cliff Alexander in 1972, Crayex has been proudly supporting our community for over 50 years. Good life begins with a good company.
Join the team of dedicated workers and become a part of the Crayex family today.
Is a floral boutique and plant shop located at 120 North Main Street in Piqua. Need flowers for your wedding, funeral, baby shower, or a special event? Lemon Meringue has you covered. Lemon Meringue is open Tuesday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., Friday from 10 a.m. to 4, Saturday 10 a.m. to 2, and they're closed Sunday and Monday. For more information, call 937-726-0451 or visit them on Facebook. Mention this ad at checkout to receive 10% off your boutonniere or corsage for the school dance. Lemon Meringue is located at 120 North Main Street in Piqua.
Well, unfortunately, because of the weather, no band show tonight here at Alexander Stadium at halftime, but we have had quite a football show here as we have watched this first half. It's all tied up, 7-7, Troy and Piqua in the 140th renewal of the Battle on the Miami. And quickly going down and taking a look here in the scoring, Kirkpatrick on the first possession of the game for Troy takes it on in, and then the extra point makes it 7-0. That was a 3-yard run by Kirkpatrick. And early in the second quarter at 9:44, Caden Thomas, nice throw and run to Debo Nisley. I think we had that one at 69 yards. Takes it on in, extra point wound up good, and we are tied up 7-7 here at the half between these two Miami County rivals. Tom Michaels along with Brian Gillespie. And Brian, I think that first quarter was about as good a football as you could expect when you get the conditions that we've got out there. It was pretty doggone good.
Yeah, you didn't have a lot of fumbles. You didn't have, there was an occasional mishandle on a snap here and there, but I mean, it didn't look as messy as you thought it might. Overall, I mean, the stats, favor Piqua actually with 129 total yards on 25 plays. Troy's been limited to 93 total yards, including 8 passing yards in the first half. So it's been a rough and rugged type of game here. It's as we kind of suspected with this weather. Jericho Burns, 13 carries for 46 yards, not his best night so far. But again, they've been keying on him because there hasn't been a whole lot of offense, big time offense for Piqua outside of that Debo Nisley 69-yard touchdown. You don't have a whole lot to speak of. Cade Thomas 3 of 8, 80 yards. Again, some of those last minute, last second type passes that, it's going to be like that. Now on the other side, Aiden Kirkpatrick is only 1 of 5. They've only thrown it 5 times for 8 yards. And he's rushed 8 times for 36 yards in that touchdown. So not a whole lot to speak of on the offensive side for either team. On defense, Gage Kowecki has 7 tackles on his own for Troy, which is pretty impressive. Owen Schaller has 3. Carson Mars and Isaiah Martin and both have 3 for Piqua. And that's where we stand here. So far, it's been a lot of punts. Not as many turnovers maybe as we thought we might get. Not a lot of fumbles lost. None. 0 fumbles lost for either team in this weather. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's amazing out there. And once again, even say an hour and 15 minutes ahead of this game tonight, there was discussion, are we going to go through with it? Are we going to do it? Here's what we think is going to happen. There are these kind of discussions going on between the upper echelon of athletics and the school district here for the Piqua schools. And,
I will tell you that down south they got the worst of it. So we've actually up here, south of town like Xenia, they had to push their game back to 8 tonight. So they didn't kick off till just a few minutes ago. Up here in the north, we had just a little bit better weather than down there. They just had some nasty power issues down there. There's a lot of people with thousands and thousands of people without power in the state of Ohio in general. We've been fortunate to get this half of football in. Fingers crossed we keep this rolling and we can get through this game with everybody safe and sound and get this game completed.
Yeah, and there were a number of games that were indeed not just delayed but postponed until tomorrow. So you have to keep an eye on that as we move our way on through this particular evening. Stay safe out there because obviously down power lines and things of that nature could cause a problem no matter what and no matter where you are, and they could come up and mess you up without any warning whatsoever.
Well, here's a little bit of an interesting score. At the half, Sydney only leads Greenville 14-6 right now at Greenville. Like I said, the Xenia game has not. They're just got underway recently, so that's a pretty interesting score. But the weather, you never know when weather gets in the way.
I tell you what, Xenia is another one of the teams. You talk about the very top teams right now here in this league. You're talking about Tip. You're talking about the likes of Butler. And then you're talking about Xenia. And, of course, they ran the table during the regular season. Was that a couple of years ago or was that last year?
A couple years ago.
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
And then got beat by a very low seed in the first round of the tournament to knock them out. So that's a program that we're going to see in just a couple of weeks. And this year got them on the road up there at Xenia.
I'll tell you what, here's a name to remember. Deontay White. He's going to be an all-state player maybe this year as a junior. He, at the current moment, through 5 games, he has 981 yards rushing and 17 touchdowns just through 5 games. This kid is having an all-world. He's putting some all-world numbers up, and we're gonna have to shut him down at the very least when we go to Xenia in about a couple weeks here.
Yeah, Jericho Burns is second in the league with 619 yards rushing coming into this ball game, but some 300 yards off of the numbers that you were talking about.
I mean, almost 1,000 yards in half a season. Those are some incredible numbers for. He's not a senior either. He's a junior, 5'10", 180. You know, the kid can obviously play some running back right there.
Well, we're going to go ahead and take a 2-minute break here. When we come back, we'll have more of our halftime coming up right after this break. It is all tied up, 7-7, Piqua and Troy. The 140th meeting of these two teams right here on 98.1 FM 1570 WPTW and the Indian Nation Station. To Alexander Stadium, Tom Michaels along with Brian Gillespie and our entire crew for both WPTW and the Indian Nation Station. It is 7-7 at the half, Troy and Piqua. Next week, the Piqua Indians are going to be home for the 3rd week in a row after starting off 3 of the first 4 games that they played were on the road against teams that when they played them, they wound up combined, I think 9-0 at that point. No one had lost to that point. And so here we are this weekend. Piqua going against Troy, the great literal backyard rivalry here. But next week it's going to be homecoming for the Piqua Indians. They'll be playing West Carrollton. We'll have the game at 6:45 with the pregame on WPTW and tape delay on TV on the Indian Nation station. I'd like to remind you that the Piqua Homecoming Parade is going to be on Thursday night, and I believe the time I was given was 7 o'clock for that parade. And I know that AJ Ganger is going to be there and is going to be taking some video, and that will be showing up at some point on the Indian Nation station. As we look through here, the Piqua Indians, we've talked about this quite a bit this year. Even though some of the scores don't maybe look as close as some of the stuff we saw last year, they're playing so much better than what they did 1 year ago. And last year, 5 of the losses were by 5 points or less. So you put that together with the 2 wins, that's pretty close to getting things done a year ago. And
you know, a lot of that sounds really good, and that 5 losses or 5 points or less. But I'll be honest, the league was not great last year.
No.
The league is not as talented as it usually is. A lot of teams that were kind of rebuilding. Xenia didn't have a great team last year. Butler was kind of in the in-between. They weren't ready to really kick it in. They had a nice year. They won some games, but they weren't probably as good as they are this year. And to be honest, even though the numbers haven't always looked as good this year, the eye test Piqua has passed compared to last year with spades. I'm telling you, it has been a whole different ball game. When you watch them play, they've competed with every team they've played, despite playing a very difficult schedule. Nothing has come easy for other teams. Even the Tip game, where Tip kind of took control in the third quarter, they did that because they made plays. Piqua didn't have a bunch of busts where the kids ran wide open for touchdowns. Tip had to earn that game, and Tip did. They deserved that because they earned it. Last year it was a bust here, a bust there, a penalty here, a turnover here that was the difference between winning and losing against teams that aren't top-level teams. This year they just have been solid, not knock your socks off great, but solid enough to be a competitive team in this league and also really in the playoffs. I think they could play a pretty good game against a higher seed in the playoffs, and I'm guessing most teams won't want to play a lower-seeded Piqua team come playoff time.
Well, it is 7-7 at the half. Piqua and Troy. More of our halftime coming up after this 2-minute break here on 98.1 FM, 1570 WPTW, and the Indian Nation station.
Like a hurricane.
t-shirts into the crowd tonight, so grab one while you can. Amazingly enough, those are going to be really soggy t-shirts.
Make sure you wring them out before you try them on, because they're not going to fit if they're a little smaller than you're used to.
Yeah, but it's all tied up 7-7 here at the half between Troy and Piqua. For the Piqua Indians, they have come out here. Their running back, Jericho Burns, has not been getting the yardage that we have normally seen from him, but the big play of this game by Piqua was to a guy I don't know that we expected him to play as big a role as he has this year. Debo Knivesley, a nice pass coming from the quarterback, Caden Thomas, and takes it in 69 yards for a score. Just ran it up that far sideline and takes it on in after the kick. We're all tied up at 7-7. There are a number of guys who have come on strong here since the beginning of this season.
Well, Debo Knivesley is one of those guys. He's a pure sprinter. He's the next level speed. He's the sprinter on the track team, the 100-meter dash. He's the guy they go to for that type of thing. He's an important player because if you get a ball in his hands, he's got a chance to go to the house every time.
Well, we're going to take a 2-minute break. When we come back, we will have our third period coming up for you. It's all tied up 7-7 between Piqua and Troy on 98.1 FM 1570 WPTW and the Indian.
No matter if it was a long day at work, home, the practice field, or you're just celebrating a big win with your teammates, the Piqua Little Caesars has you covered. Stop in for a $6.49 hot and ready pizza anytime. Your Piqua Little Caesars are proud sponsors of the Indian Nation Station and Piqua Athletics.
Pizza, pizza. Moving up.
Court's changed out. All right, switch to this camera then. You got it in there? All right. Tell the guys I'm gonna run this camera. All right. You got that camera back too. You should have that camera back. Yeah. All right. If it comes up, tell me, and then I'll put this back on the scoreboard and head back. All right.
To Alexander Stadium, we begin our second half, all tied up. Troy 7, Piqua 7. Troy getting ready to kick off here. Gavin Larger to do the honors with the wind. The ball being held there on the tee. And the ball going to be a bouncer, which is going to be picked up at the 5-yard line and inundated there at the 5-yard line. With the return, wasn't able to pick up who that was with the return there. So the ball is at the 6-yard line, so Piqua has them deep in their own territory now as we get underway here in our third period of play.
You make those guys return kicks, something crazy can happen in this type of game.
So on 1st and 10, they're going to give the ball to Dakota Manson. Manson is able to pick up maybe 3 yards before he is wrapped up. Number of the Indians there in on that play, and that includes Isaiah Martin. So a pickup of 2, 2nd and 8.
It's the second one. Just hit the play button. Yeah, just hit the play button.
This time the quarterback's going to keep it. Kirkpatrick. He tries to drive it ahead, right up the middle. Gets not much out of that one for Piqua. We saw Owen Schaller in there.
I think he even lost a little bit right there.
Yep. So that brings up a 3rd down and 8.
This is a big play here. Piqua can pin them and make them punt out of their own end zone.
So now,
Yep, you're good now. And just do the down and distance the best you can, and then we'll figure it out.
Great
they
job.
try and go around the far side, and taken down is the ball carrier. That is Michael Tucker.
Isaiah Martin was all over that play.
And that is going to bring the punting unit on here with Cameron Stoltz.
They got exactly what they wanted here with this punting out of their own end zone. They just got to be careful and stay away from running into the punter.
Yep, they've done that once in this game. Standing back by the end line, high snap, gets it away, bad punt. This one is going to land and bounce out of bounds at around the 35-yard line, so Piqua's going to have excellent field position here for their first possession of the second half.
I'll tell you what, for as good a field goal kicker Cameron Stoltz, tonight his punting has been way off. And, some of that is the wind. He has not had a real good night kicking it, and that one was another one of those. That thing went off the side of his foot. Getting the ball at the 35-yard line on Troy's side of the field, that is huge.
Piqua's going to send Drake Owen wide to the right. Debo Nisley in a slot right, left side. You've got Jay Hancock. The back continues to be Jericho Burns. Caden Thomas the signals, gives to Jericho Burns. Doesn't find much of a hole, picks up a couple of yards if that, and that'll bring up a 2nd down. And they're going to say he just picked up a yard as they spot the ball at the 34-yard line.
It's going to be one of those games. This is a touchdown game, not any. You don't want to risk your game on a field goal, so they're going to have to keep burning, getting that thing and trying to score touchdowns.
2 wide right, 1 to the left. Now looking over the sidelines. Jericho Burns lines up off the left hip of Caden Thomas. Thomas gives the ball. Jericho Burns. There's a hole. He gets it down to the 30-yard line, just shy of that before he is wrapped up by Logan Westerfield. They'll spot the ball at the 31. So that's going to bring up a 3rd down now. 3rd down and 6 coming up. Working quickly. 2 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left. And now we're going to have a flag, and it is going to go against the Piqua Indians. False start. Well, we haven't seen Piqua make much in terms of mistakes in this game. Right there was one. And that's going to take it back outside the original line of scrimmage.
Ooh, behind your sticks on 3rd down in this type of game, that is a big mistake right there to push it back to 3rd and 11.
Still early on here in the 3rd period. Working the left hash mark. They'll line up Burns on the right side. Rolling right. Here's the pass. It is incomplete. Threw it in behind the intended receiver. That looks like Noah Coleman. Yep, Noah Coleman. And so that'll bring up a 4th down.
It looked like he kind of threw it where he had to. There was defense on the outside, so he kind of tried to flip it to the inside. If that defender just made a nice break on the ball to knock that one out, and it looks like it's a punting situation here. You don't have a whole lot of choice.
So Chris Davis is going to be on to do the punting for Piqua. He is standing back at the 49-yard line in Troy territory. So he doesn't necessarily want to hit this one as hard as he possibly could, and does not. So the ball goes out of bounds. And they're going to say it's at the 20-yard line. So fairly deep in their own territory. It'll be the second possession of the half for Troy. We're all tied up at 7-7. Troy comes out here. Aiden Kirkpatrick, the quarterback. He's a junior, 6 foot, 195 pounder. He not only throws for 534 yards, but has rushed 67 times for 63 yards. And here, the ball goes to Michael Tucker, the halfback, 5'11", 160-pound junior. And he is forced out of bounds right there at the 21-yard line. So a pickup of 1, it'll be a 2nd and 9. The give going
Looked like
up the left side.
Looked like he just quarterback sneaked that. I think he mishandled the snap
Yeah.
a little bit, and he just said, all right, I'm just going to dive forward and see what I can get.
That's Kirkpatrick. He picks up some yardage on it, though, to bring up a 3rd down and 6, or 3rd down and 4, excuse me.
He definitely made something from nothing there.
Now they line up a strong side to the near side. Kirkpatrick checks off. Keeps the ball once again. He's got the 1st down. Across the 30 down to the 33-yard line. Aiden Kirkpatrick. Izzy Coleman is the man who puts the kibosh on the play. Ball out to the 33. Well, it'll be a 1st and 10 coming up here. So this, a huge series. They're all going to be huge. Once again, they shift through Troy. 2 men from the right side to the left side. They give the ball to Dakota Manson. Manson kind of falls ahead before he is brought down. Into the stop, Keaton Bolden also in there to stop him, Izzy Coleman. But a pickup of, once again, 6 to bring up a 2nd and 4. Ball on the 39-yard line, their own for Troy. They do an awful lot of switching there at the line of scrimmage. And the quarterback calls out the play. There's a wing on the left side. Kirkpatrick finds a big hole. He's got another 1st down out close to midfield. He's going to have the ball spotted, I believe, at the 49, where it'll be 1st and 10, Troy.
Piqua's got to figure out how to make a play. This reminds me of that first drive that Troy had, that they went right down the field and scored at the moment. Piqua needs to make a negative play one of these times and kind of get them behind the sticks here.
Twin backs. One of the backs gets the ball, and he runs it up across the 45 down to the 44-yard line. With the ball that time, I think it was Manson.
Yeah, it looked like Manson on that one.
So that brings up a 2nd down and 3 on a pickup of 7. And they have to reset the ball. The wind is still whipping out there.
Yeah, and there's rain in the forecast. I think it took a break. I think the rain is coming back here in a little bit. So this fourth quarter could be a little nasty out there.
Well, the officials are picking up the ball, then putting it down just before the center gets over the ball, because otherwise the wind's just going to take that ball and spin it away. Now we got another whistle. Referee and the side judge doing some talking there. Well, Troy calls their first timeout of this second half. We'll go ahead and take a 30-second break here as well. All tied up 7-7, Troy and Piqua on 98.1 FM, 1570 WPTW, and the Indian Nation station.
781. Again, that number is 913-781. If you have that ticket, please come up to the home press box to collect your money. Thank you.
And 5:13 to go in the third period. All tied up 7-7. And on the march, the Troy Trojans. Now they drew first blood in the first half. The Piqua Indians able to come back early in the second quarter, tie things up at 7-7. And that's where we are right now. But again, Troy has been marching from deep in their own territory. Troy with the strong side on the left side now, as they work left to right here in this third quarter. And they give the ball to Zach Ullery. Well, they faked to Ullery, and the quarterback kept it once again. He's good at those fakes as they get in there on these wings.
I tell you what, on that play, it looked like Isaiah Martin had him, and then to get him to the ground, he threw him forward and got him over top to get him a first down.
So here it is, 1st and 10. Ball at the 40-yard line. And just following his way ahead this time. That's Dakota Manson. Dakota Manson, 5'6", 170-pound senior, rushed 28 times for 207 yards coming into this ball game. And this is a team that really spreads it around as far as they've got a whole lot of different people who they will run with.
Now what is the question?
Well, now Dakota Manson is going out, coming back in is Caden Franklin. I don't know if there was an equipment problem there or not. Caden Franklin, we haven't called his number much of late. He'll line up on the right side of the other back. Back at you away, Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick under center. They give the ball to Franklin, and Franklin is going to be taken down. He gets it just across the 35-yard line down to close to the 34, it would appear, with 3.5 minutes to go here in the third.
All right, Piqua needs to bow up here. They want to put Troy in a 4th and 6 or something. They want to force them to lose a few yards here. You don't want them to get to 4th and short or even a first down, obviously, in this one here.
It's a 3rd and 4. The shift on now by Troy. And the quarterback's going to be taken down for a loss.
Owen Schaller in there.
Yep. Now it was not a loss. He actually picks up maybe a yard, but that does bring up 4th down.
I feel like he might have gotten a generous spot there after that play.
They do an awful lot with the fakes. Okay, ball coming back into the ball game.
Looks like Jace Weber limped out there. We'll have to see what they got here on 4th and how did they get to 4th and 2? Maybe I missed it, but that looks like in a questionable spot.
Under center, Kirkpatrick. Gives the ball. Manson. Manson finds running room. He's got the first down to the 25-yard line. Inside the 25. For Piqua on the bottom of the pile, Zayden Allen. So another first down here as Troy doing a good job of just move the ball right on down the field, taking time off that clock. 2:15 to go in the third. We're all tied up 7-7. 1st and 10 coming up here. Near 2 minutes to go in the period. Once again, quarterback is going to keep the ball. He'll speed his way ahead.
Schaller in there again on the stop.
Owen Schaller for the Piqua Indians. Last year had 66 tackles for the year. This year he came in with 27. 6'1", 214-pound senior linebacker. That'll bring up a 2nd and 7 off that gain of 3. Minute and a half to go in the third. They take it up the middle, and I'll tell you what, they do a good job of selling the fakes here as they just took it right up the middle with one of the backs. And one of the Piqua Indians is down and are hurt. Not able to tell from this distance exactly who that might be, but the training staff is out there. We'll go ahead and take a 30-second break, and when we come back, we'll have more action here in the third period. Troy 7, Piqua 7, 1:16 to go in the third on 98.1 FM, 1570 WPTW, and the Indian Nation Station.
Harmony Systems is a manufacturing company that has been a staple in the Piqua community for nearly 30 years. The most recent milestone was the acquisition of a second facility that is roughly 100 yards away from the main plant. This location will allow for Harmony's continued growth and success. Harmony has over 60 molding machines and 225 employees, and we're still looking to expand. We offer competitive wages and a benefits package that includes access to a medical provider within walking distance at no cost to the employee. Come join our team and help make great plastic products.
Zayden Allen, the player who was shaken up on the play, he is over on the sidelines now. So now a 3rd and 3 coming up here for Troy. Ball at the 21-yard line of Piqua. And they go over the left side, and once again, they're able to get the first down with the quarterback keeping it that time. Aiden Kirkpatrick takes the ball inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line, where it'll be 1st and goal to go from the 8. Tied up 7-7 here. 43 seconds left to go in the third.
They just had no answer for him on this drive so far.
Again, Kirkpatrick tries to follow one of his backs as a blocker. Takes it down inside the 5-yard line down to the 2-yard line. Again, another generous spot. Matter of fact, it looks like it's inside the 2. Or it'll be 2nd and goal to go for the Trojans.
That Piqua defense is gassed.
This has been a long series here. This time they take it up the middle and touchdown, Troy, on the 2-yard run. The quarterback keeping it on that one. Kirkpatrick on the 2-yard run. That comes with no time on the clock here in this third period. On for the extra point. Cameron Stoltz came into this game 16 of 17. He is 1 of 1 tonight. It is up and through. And as we take our quarter break here, getting ready for the fourth quarter, it is now 14-7. Troy with the lead on Piqua here on 98.1 FM, 1570 WPTW, and the Indian Nation station.
Congratulations to the Indians. Receiving the award for Army will be the Piqua High School with over 2,500 chin-ups. It was a close battle all night with great efforts from both sides, so give yourselves a round of applause.
Put dumpsters out everywhere. Like all the restaurants, all the ones that ran out, stick them anywhere we can. So, one of our really good partners is four restaurants. We have one big restaurant. And then you go out to the customers and sit out there. Eat out randomly. They go out and sit here.
Cameron Stoltz approaches the ball to begin this final period. And that ball is going to go sailing through the end zone. So Piqua's going to have it at their own 20-yard line here to begin this drive. Now trailing once again 14-7. They fell behind 7-0 early and then came back fairly quickly to tie the game up in the second period at 7-7.
Okay, well, Piqua's got to do something here on this drive. You know, Troy did what they did earlier. They went down the field. Now, the key here is Piqua to put together a drive here and get some points on the board to respond. And it's nasty out there right now.
In motion, Rayshawn Garrett.
Mental error.
We got all sorts of flags there.
False start. Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty, first down.
False start called there on Cade Ball. That'll move it back 5 to the 15. Where it'll be a 1st and 15.
It's not the way you want to start the drive here. They need to have a big play on first down now. So now they're behind the sticks.
2 wideouts left, 1 to the right. Jericho Burns, the back. They're going to throw over here on the near side off the fingertips. Looking for Noah Coleman. 5'10", 176-pound senior receiver. That'll bring up a second down here. Well, unfortunately, with the weather deteriorating once again, every once in a while you can kind of see the wind taking it and making the rain in kind of a light sheets there. Rolling near side, Caden Thomas. Thomas looking. He's just going to throw it out of bounds. And that'll bring up a third down.
It just looks like the offense is not focused right now. That's 2 mental errors. Caden Thomas rolling right. Receiver ran the wrong route. Well, there was no one there to throw to. First you had a mental error on first down. Now you have a mental error on second down. And now you're way in a tough spot, 3rd and 15 with sheets of rain and a terrible wind out there. They're putting themselves in a really difficult spot.
So, now on 3rd down and 15. They shift the man over to the left side, off the line. And now it's going to be a timeout called by Piqua as they were confused as to what they wanted to do right there. So we'll take a 30-second break here once again. 14-7, Troy the lead on Piqua on 98.1 FM, 1570 WPTW, and the Indian Nation station.
Bryson Angle finishing in second, Braden Holtboat fourth, 6 and Ty Pettis earning the 8th fastest time. The girls finished in 3rd place with Ashley Gillo finishing the 9th and Lucy Reese finishing 11th place. Both teams will be racing at the Centerville Saturday Night Lights Invite and Hopkins Invitational tomorrow.
Coming out of the timeout on a 3rd and 15. Ball on the 15-yard line. Dropping the ball. Caden Thomas picks it up, tries to run it ahead. Picks up a couple of yards, but that's about it. The guy who got in there to get him was Marcus Kavanaugh, the outside linebacker. And that's going to bring the punting unit on for Piqua. Chris Davis comes out.
Okay.
And things are just totally deteriorating here as far as the weather's concerned, as far as Piqua's concerned. Pretty much the same thing as the weather.
Well, their mental focus just isn't there right now. They need to get it back before it's too late.
Good snap. Ball is away, and it is going to come down and be down at the 49-yard line. In Piqua territory. So good field position here for Troy.
There is a flag on the field, though, which if they have to re-kick it, that would not be ideal.
The rain getting heavier and heavier and heavier. All right, so
I think do you have the option of taking a kick here? Because if you do, you just go with the kick and decline the penalty, you would think. Or do you take it and you go 4th and 2? Do you go for it? Oh my goodness.
The rain coming harder and harder and harder. Piqua right now. That's going to move the ball up there to the 27-yard line. So we got the 4th down. Chris Davis once again to try the punt here. Davis standing back at his 14-yard line. Pretty good rush being put on here. This time the ball is going to be 2 yards into the Troy end. And so now here early in this 4th period, it'll be a 1st and 10 for the Trojans.
I think this is what you call a monsoon, partner. This is some crazy, crazy rain we're sitting through here.
Usually the rains that we see here aren't coming up from the Caribbean and Florida. And that's exactly what we see with this remnants of Helene. Once again, Troy's going to take it up the middle. The ball carrier is Zachary Ullery. Zach Ullery picks up 2, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and 8.
Now this time Troy has to handle the elements. You know, they had that 3rd quarter where the rain had laid off and it wasn't as windy. We'll see how they handle the elements.
10 minutes left to go in the game.
And there you go.
And there's a fumble. But Troy is able to pick up the ball, and the ball is actually going to be back fairly close to the original line of scrimmage.
I tell you what, those fans in the stands are some hardy folks.
Oh, yeah.
From both Piqua and Troy wanting to see this rivalry game.
So the ball back there at the 45-yard line. On a 3rd and 10. They go to Manson. Manson falls his way ahead across midfield down to the 47-yard line.
Here we go.
And that'll bring up a 4th down.
Do they go for it again? Do you pin them deep with a punt? The punting team has not been great for them today. They're going.
So the ball on the 47. Under center, Aiden Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick is going to be stopped back for a loss. And the Piqua Indians are going to take over with decent field position here. As we are toward midway in this final period.
Holy mackerel. They had them pinned, but they also got a penalty, so that's going to be pickleball one way or the other.
So Piqua will have the ball here. They will have it just into Troy territory. But now having to deal with the elements once again. Caden Thomas, the quarterback, off to his left. Jericho Burns. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Jericho Burns up the middle, finds a big hole. He gets it across the 40 down to the 38-yard line. Jericho Burns.
Troy, I tell you what, they played with fire there. You could have pinned them deep. You could have punted that ball and made Piqua go the length of the field. Instead, they went for it on 4th and 2. Didn't get it. Now Piqua's got some momentum. And the refs want to slow the game down. Oh, let's move it back a half yard.
Yeah, so now they're going to spot the ball at the 39. So it'll be a 2nd and 2. 14-7. Troy with the lead. Piqua lines up. Jericho Burns off the right hip of quarterback Caden Thomas. 1 wide to the left, 2 to the right. Jericho Burns. He bounces to the outside. He is going to be dragged down for a loss. Taken down back around the 43, 44-yard line.
He made a cardinal mistake right there. He was almost at 1st down, and he decided to bounce it outside and go backwards to go forwards. East-west running in this type of scenario did not work out for him. You got to go north-south there to get the 1st down. Now.
So from the 41-yard line, on 3rd down, working the right hash mark. 1 wide to the left, 2 to the right, the short side of the field. Again, Jericho Burns. He tries to turn the corner now. Several players in there on the stop, including we see Nathan Wyatt, also Creighton Versailles, and that'll bring up 4th down. So getting late in this ball game.
It's a huge play here. You know, if you can pull a rabbit out of the hat on 4th and 4 and keep your drive going, that would be huge. That would put a lot of pressure on that Troy defense.
On 4th and 4. Big play coming up. Keeping the ball, the quarterback. Thomas is taken down for the sack. Coming through to get him. Creighton Versailles. And on downs, the ball goes over now to Troy. 6.5 minutes left to go here in the game. A 14-7 lead held by the Trojans. Still plenty of time if the Piqua Indians can get the ball back.
It's like we're playing in the ocean tonight. It's unbelievable the amount of rain out there.
Yeah, I feel like we're watching Finding Nemo.
Oh, dear.
And here's a big hole for the quarterback, Aiden Kirkpatrick, who is grabbed from behind by Keaton Bolden to stop a touchdown run. He gets down to the 20-yard line. And they're going to take it back a couple of yards anyway. So Keaton Bolden with that touchdown-saving tackle on Aiden Kirkpatrick. But another first down here by the Trojans.
That one hurts. That one puts Troy in complete control here with the time ticking away. They're still it's still in the game, though. If they can get a turnover, it's still pouring down rain. Anything can happen in this series.
Inside 6 minutes to go. Quittervik keeps it again. Kirkpatrick did a little curl pattern in the backfield. Takes it down across the 20. Gets it down to the 8, make it the 17-yard line, where it'll be a second down and 4.
Again, you got it. You can't lean on. You can't let them get 6 on first down. You got it. Somebody's got out there's got to make a play. They got to knock that ball out. You got to do whatever you can do to make a play here to keep this game within striking distance. They score here, it's a huge hill to climb.
Quarterback under center. He's just going to follow the blocking along, get the first down, keeps going, and gets it inside the 10-yard line, down between the 7 and the 8.
They're running the same play. That's 3 straight times the same play.
Thank you, guys.
To the right side there, he's just kind of doing a little spin move in the backfield and going right behind his line, and the line is just leaning on the Indians at this point.
First and goal to go now for Troy. 4.5 minutes to go. Troy trying to salt this one away. They lead it at 14-7. Split backs. Man on the wing off the left side of the line. Kirkpatrick's going to keep it. He's going to be dragged down. He stays inbounds. So for the Piqua Indians, John Hess in there on the stop. That'll bring up a second down. No gain on the play. Second and goal to go.
Key there, he did stay in bounds, so the clock keeps running, ticking away on the Indians right now.
Taking as much time off the clock as they possibly can. Being very leisurely about getting the signals from the sideline. Kirkpatrick brings him up. Back on the right side. Zachary Ulrich on the left side. Dakota Manson. Manson with the ball, takes it in for a touchdown. 8-yard run by Dakota Manson. And that takes the lead out to 20-7 with the kick coming up here.
That one was just too easy. Manson had a huge hole on the right side. They really, blocked that well, Troy, and he just kind of cruised right in for a touchdown on that one.
3:38 left to go in this one. On for the extra point. Again, you've got Cameron Stoltz. That one is through and good. 21-7. Troy now takes the lead. 3:38 to go in this one. Back after this 30-second break on 98.1 FM, 1570 WPTW, and the Indian Nation Station.
Next home game will be next Friday night when the Indians entertain West Carrollton. It will be a big night here at Alexander Stadium, and it will be homecoming night. And also, Piqua schools will be honoring their honorees of distinction. It will be a great night to see some old and familiar faces of the Piqua Indians. You can take online or contact the athletic office with media assistance.
Oh, wow.
3:38 left to go in the game. Piqua is now down by 2 touchdowns. The kickoff is one. Going to go through the end zone, and it'll be brought out to the 20-yard line. So Piqua, a big hill to climb here.
Yeah, it'd take a small miracle to get back in this game at this point, considering the situation, the weather, all that goes into the rain and the wind. You know, you're almost forced to go to the air, and that's dangerous in this weather.
Piqua brings them out. 2 wide to the near side, 2 to the left. Jericho Burns continues as the back. Caden Thomas rolls near side and throws it incomplete, looking for Rayshawn Garrett. 2nd down and 10.
That was a pretty nice throw. I just think there was a little bit of miscommunication maybe on the route. It felt like he stopped on the route, and then he had to reach for the ball rather than running through the route and just catching it. The offense has been off in the second half. It hasn't been quite as crisp as they were in the first half.
And we've got a flag on the play. It's kind of hard to see there on that one. Ineligible receiver downfield.
The details have been a mess here in the second half for the Piqua offense.
So it'll be a 1st and 15. Next week, West Carrollton at home on homecoming. Have it for you on radio live and TV tape delay. Pass is complete on the near side for Noah Coleman. So Coleman, who has really been one of the stars here this year.
Looks like Caden might be a little bit nicked up after that play.
Yep, so that's going to bring Chris Davis on, at least for this next play. So Caden Thomas over talking to the training staff. Pick up a 1 on the play, so it'll be a 2nd and 9. 2 wide left. Wingman just off the right side of the line. High snap gathered in by Davis. He gives the ball. Jericho Burns. He got it back to the line of scrimmage. Not much else. So now Davis comes out. Back in comes Caden Thomas. 3rd and 9 coming up here. We hit 3 minutes to go. We were tied 7-7 at the half. 2 wideouts on either side. Caden Thomas throws the ball ahead, and it is complete. Gets the ball to Noah Coleman. They're going to say that was incomplete. Apparently the ball hit the ground. And that's going to bring the punter on here. Chris Davis. Chris Davis, a freshman. He's done a good job as a punter for the Piqua Indians in this first 6 games of the 2024 campaign. He is standing back at his own 8-yard line. Gets this one away, and it's going to go down, and it's going to be down at the 39-yard line.
That should tell you all you need to know about the weather. Piqua's entire kick return team was facing the other direction, looking for the ball, and it already hit on the field, 20 yards down the field on the opposite side. That wind took that thing like crazy. Chris Davis needs to give a high hat to the weather gods, because that one got him a lot of extra yardage thanks to that wind.
2:37 left to go in this one. The 140th meeting between Piqua and Troy. Troy with a 21-7 lead. Under center, Kirkpatrick. He's going to give it to Manson. Manson's going to get nowhere. Manson. Put down on the turf. That's Carson Mars who got to him. And I'll tell you what, it's amazing when you see there have been some very generous spots on both sides, I think, tonight.
That was very kind, because I thought he was caught in the backfield. I mean, maybe he fell forward at the last second, but geez, it looked like he was down a yard behind the line, and they gave him a yard.
2nd and 9. Letting the play clock and the game clock move its way down. Under center, Kirkpatrick. And they'll go to the back on the other side this time. That being Zachary Ullery. Ullery, 5'10", 170-pound junior. Troy's got an awful lot of juniors at skilled positions for this team, including the quarterback, Kirkpatrick. We have not seen much in terms of passing out of Kirkpatrick in this game. They haven't needed to. They haven't really wanted to. Piqua has pretty much gone to the passing game because they've had to. Again, Manson with the ball. He doesn't quit. He just keeps those legs moving. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. 1 minute to go. So Piqua is going to call a timeout here with a 4th down coming. Nope. Well, Piqua's staying out there. And Troy over there on their sideline.
Ref raising the roof. Looks like he's keeping the clock running. I don't know that Piqua even did call a timeout there.
So, on 4th down,
they're just going to tick, 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 run it down.
As far as they can.
And probably call a timeout themselves, to be honest.
So now they come to the line. All at the 47-yard line, their own. So they give it to the back up the middle again with Ulrey. And Ulrey takes it on down, and it should probably pretty much do this one. And that is going to do it for the 140th meeting between Troy and Piqua. The final score, Troy 21 and Piqua 7. For Troy, that moves them now to a 3-2 league record, 3-3 overall, and for Piqua, they fall to 2-4 and 2-3. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, we'll have our post-game comments and hopefully some stats for you before we say goodnight. Once again, the final score, 27-7, Troy. 21-7, excuse me. 21-7, Troy over Piqua here on 98.1 FM 1570 WPTW and the Indian Nation Station.
Uh-huh. Wrong with Mark since she wears oh yeah.
And Justin, what we will do.
Fans, the 2025 Great American Rivalry Series presented by the United States Army will now enter tonight's most valuable player and award the winning team the Great American Rivalry Series Championship Trophy to commemorate their outstanding performances. First, we would like to recognize the most valuable player as a part of this series. Ballots were distributed to members of the media in attendance for the selection of tonight's MVP. The votes have been tallied, and the winner is Aiden Kirkpatrick from Troy High School. Congratulations, Aiden Kirkpatrick. The Great American Rivalry Series of the United States Army are proud to recognize the Troy Trojans as a 2024 Great American Rivalry Series champion. Congratulations to everyone who participated, and special thanks to the United States Army for their partnership on the 2024 Great American Rivalry Series. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to direct your attention to the center of the field for a special trophy presentation. Each year, the winning football team in the Battle on the Miami game between Troy High School and Piqua High School receives an award known as the Traditions Trophy. This trophy commemorates all of the outstanding football contests played between these two communities since 1899. The Piqua Troy was the most played rivalry in the state of Ohio, having finished its 140th game in this series. At this time, it is the honor of both Piqua and Troy High School to present the Battle on the Miami Traditions Trophy to the players, coaches, and fans of Troy High School.
866 and 6 tie lead over the Piqua Indians after the nice 21-7 win here. Tom Michaels along with Brian Gillespie. And I honestly think that one of the things that seemed to be like in that second half, that the drive for the second touchdown by Troy, it was so long and it kept the Piqua team out on the field for so long. I think it took the wind out of them. I think they were pretty much, I won't say beaten, but physically they were at that point, and the rest of the game was very difficult for that
simply
standpoint.
just, the defense could not get off the field against this Troy running game. Aiden Kirkpatrick, the quarterback, had a heck of a night. 24 carries, 125 yards rushing. The Piqua offense only managed 10 yards in the second half. When you do that, you just can't get it done. Troy rushed for 258 yards total for the game. They had the time of possession advantage, 27-17. Those are not numbers that add up to a victory, and we saw that tonight. That makes two straight games where Piqua's only managed 7 points. They've been outscored 35-7 in the last two contests in this series. They've got to fix that coming to next year's.
The scoring in this one, early, Kirkpatrick on a 3-yard run in the first period on the first possession for Troy made it 7-0, but Piqua would tie things up in the second quarter at 9:44. Caden Thomas on a beautiful 69-yard pass and run to Debo Nisley. That tied it at 7-7. In the third period, with no time showing on the clock, a 2-yard run by Kirkpatrick, the quarterback, once again, his second touchdown of the night, made it 14-7 after the kick for Troy. And then it was Manson on an 8-yard run in the fourth with 3:38 to go. and that made it 21-7. For the Troy Trojans, next week they're going to be hosting a very tough Xenia team, and for Piqua, they are going to be facing West Carrollton for homecoming. It'll be a 6:45 pregame on WPTW and tape delay on the Indian Nation station. Final comments, Brian Gillespie.
Well, you see where you're going to go here because you're going to slip probably just outside the playoff race. You're not going to be far out of it. You've got a lot of winnable games down the stretch here. Can you focus on that rather than letting this one sit on you and bother you too long? I think that's where Piqua's going to have to be at. Big homecoming game. Try to turn the page on this one and move forward.
All righty. Once again, final score, Troy 21, Piqua 7 in just a rainy night here in Southwest Ohio. For AJ Ganger and the folks here at the Indian Nation station, for Justin Fallon, back at the station at WPTW, for my broadcast partner, Brian Gillespie. My name is Tom Michaels. Again, final score, Troy 21, Piqua 7. You've been listening to the Battle on the Miami here on 98.1 FM, 1570, WPTW, and the Indian Nation station.